All right, welcome in. We've got sort of a mid-elo, mid-rank masterpiece here for you today. We'll call it a masterpiece. You know what else is a masterpiece? Up top left already, as we see as they're beginning the runs. Big D had a little bit of a stained glass issue for like the first minute in his run, so enjoy it while it lasts. I'm gonna pause soon as I'm just waiting for something to happen. But we got four racers. I guess I'll go ahead and introduce them here while this is going on. Here we got Big D. That's beautiful right there. I think you can count the pixels. There's about like 50 of them. 50 by 10 by 15. That's anyway. So he's there with his state-of-the-art small screen, small monitor, small resolution. He actually told me there was a way he could fix the resolution. I think when he was trying to fix it, it caused this weird stained glass issue to happen. So I just told him to keep it. And besides, we all know Big D for his special screen, right? None of the other 28 racers have that. So if you ever want to know, if you always just kind of got peripheral vision or something, there he is. To his left, we've got JP. Over there in position 20 out of 28 ranks, right? There are 28 people. This is the biggest underdog here. The biggest underdog story is for JP, who's only completed one loadout so far here in the hosting league. Maybe we'll see. Okay, yep, there we go. Good. Get everything all good. Sorry. Yeah, for JP, we'll see what happens from this loadout race. Again, I already know the results. I know what happens here, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to spoil anything here, just to highlight some of the cooler things that happen throughout these runs, throughout these next two loadouts. We're actually going to go ahead and test Big D's screen here in a second. Isn't that better? I don't know. I kind of miss. I kind of like the stained glass a little bit more. I told him to do that. He's good to go. Everyone's going to resume. But yeah, we got JP up in the top right, playing Commando. There we go. The ducks have quacked. We're good. There he is. Kind of more of like a lightish blue. Everyone's using blue skins. Look at this. We got like solid blue moon, like the ice cream flavor, not the beer. We've got kind of a, what do you call that? Like a cyan, an aqua blue, water blue. Looks like something you'd get out of a water bottle. Like the little tint they have on that. Nearly identical, but a little bit more whitish. We have Ken's here in the 13th seed. That's been doing really good. You know, it's funny. They pointed it out to me after this race, but every single week so far, I've been the referee for her. And not only that, it's always been Commando, and there's always been frag grenades in at least one of the loadouts. So poor Ken's like just going through a constant loop of the same thing, of things just never changing for her. But here we got the champ. Or I guess I wouldn't quite say champ. I don't believe Lurky has won a loadout race yet. But has gotten second twice. He pauses something here, but he is actually the one to beat. Has done pretty good so far here in the hosting league. Is I believe out of all of the non-official racers from the other league over in the Risk of Resources show match league, he's so far been the second best racer, as someone that to keep an eye on, not only throughout here in this season of the hosting league, but also in just the gauntlet scene as a whole. I think Lurky is someone that a lot of people have been not exactly too well aware of. I think here in the hosting league, we've been able to see a lot of skill, a lot of talent just being displayed by Lurky. And yeah, okay, stream went weird for a second there, and Big D nothing to worry about as Big D starts the TP. But overall for Lurky, just really like what I see so far. from him. Had a really close match in week 2 up against Vicky. But here, speaking of some of the other racers here, Big D already starting the TP. Doesn't have any healing. Doesn't have any, like no real good equipment. There is a vase, right? Everyone has a vase. There's no healing though. No real damage. It's just mobility. And it's going to have to be one hell of a challenge, one hell of a mission to be able to not die in a Beetle Queen stage 1 with roll Commando. Right? If you had slide, it's fine. But roll Commando is going to be able to kill a boss, but now has to deal with like 30. Okay, not 30. I see like 6, 7 Beetle Guards, a Blazing Lemurian, right? Any of those things, if Big D gets hit once, he's dead. Ken's also having started the TP, has a little bit of something, right? See that Hopu Feather? Found on stage 1, has a Gubo Jr., hasn't found the Vegas, but has a Gubo. The Gubo, I believe, died in the middle of the fight, but also is actually kind of struggling a bit. You gotta use that feather to your advantage, because he might die. With this, let's see, there's still like another 4 beetles. You don't want the queen to spawn another few. Okay, it's gonna be a spit, you're fine, there we go, all good. Things are going okay. Right, we also see down the bottom right, Lurky. Person to beat for today. Oh, it's gonna get frozen. Is this death? Is this death? I forget. No, it's not death. Very lucky, very, very lucky that Big D did not have to deal with a death there, right? Getting frozen. You know who did die, though. It was Big D. Let's go ahead and take a look back. Boom. Beetle Guard Slam. Not something you want to have to deal with. That was the last Beetle Guard, too. Almost everything was taken care of and Big D gets a death. But now there's a overloading Murray. Don't want to get a double death. But looking a little bit more controllable now for Big D there. We'll have to deal with that 5-minute penalty, though, throughout the entire race, right? And it's never fun to start a loadout race, especially with a loadout like Roll Commando, when you know there's a vase, right? So it's ideally going to be a fast run, a run where people just kind of rush to the end. Right, the vase allowing you to go from point A to point B being wherever you're looking at, point A being wherever you're standing at, right? And oh, Big D just immediately wants to leave. That's $115, right? Obviously spent 5 minutes on stage 1. Is the first to stage 2, but there's going to be some things he misses, right? We know that Big D missed a feather that every other racer has. Look, JP's got a feather. Ooh, Focus Crystal, that's 20% damage up close. Commando makes good use of that. Ken's just loading into stage 2. Not really too much loot, does not have the double energy drink that Big D has, right? Big D, 2 drinks. Ken's, 1 drink, but does have the feather. Lurky, having done the TP, or the TP boss anyway, right? The furthest behind of everyone, but has a Gore's Tome and $150 at hand. Does not have the vase yet. Every racer but Lurky right now has the vase, which is going to be pretty essential, right? I think there could be maybe an argument made to not take vase and to hold on to Gubo, but I would immediately dismantle that in the sense, or with one word, it's called grenade. Oh, okay, I take that back. W still hasn't done TP yet. W just beginning. Look at that. Ooh, good shotgun a little bit there. Not good. Not ideal. It does have some items. Has an armor-piercing round that Lurky just found as well. Lurky doing the Blood Shrine technique. How much money is that gonna be? $50. $50 for Lurky. Free. Again, if you just hit like a TP, or if you gain any amount of money, not TP, like Blood Shrine, but if you gain any amount of money, about 1 to 2 seconds before you leave, like right once you run out of money, it's all gone to the teleport, you can grab whatever you want, kill whatever you want, and you will hold on to that money and transfer it to the next stage, which is huge. Right, you don't want to be in a situation Like, if you have like 5 Gorge Tome orbs on the ground, and you just pick them up and then activate TP, that's 5 chests worth of money that you're just getting rid of, just completely wasting away. But if you just wait a little bit, boom, collect, get to the next stage, already being able to open up stuff. And we see, ooh, ice bands. Ooh, nice nade. All right, let's take a look at that nade. Up on Big D's screen, activates TP. We saw this in like the first highlight reel. Boom, huge nade there. Giga nade value. I forget, I think that was Tyler, had like the one-shot grenade on the Vagrant. Only one ice band this time on a Vagrant, but still pretty cool. There we go, we saw the gold technique he also used on W, by the way. Let's take another quick gander at that. Down to $0. No, right when he starts to glow, picks up the orb, gets like $53 from that Gorge Tome. 58, right? That's half a chest. That's really close to a chest right there. Or that equipment, right? Gonna be able to kill this blazing wisp from afar. Oh, there's by the way also a weeping fungus and a roll of penny on stage 2. Weeping fungus is a void item. Roll of penny, I believe, was from either a chant shrine or the try shop. I know there's both. There's 2 rolls of pennies on this map. In different locations. That's gonna be good, right? You have wisps on this stage, you have Gorge Tome, and pennies. You can just go TP to TP, and by the time you're done with the TP, depending on how you play, you can pretty much get whatever loot you want. The only downside of that being, oh god, real close, getting kind of low there. Penny farming a bit too much for Big D. Rusted Box. Bottom left, by the way, ukulele's the boss item. Rusted Box first opening is Chrono Bobble. Keep in mind that here in the hosting league and within the Gauntlet Racing mod, anytime there is something that involves like randomness, like rusted key boxes or recycling items, it's all seeded. It's all in the same order for every racer. If they were to open up a rusted box on the first stage after getting a key, it will always be the same item. If they miss that item and go to a next stage, then it rolls the next item on the rusted box list. Right, so the first one was Chrono Bobble, and if they miss that Chrono Bobble rusted box and they go to the next stage, well, it'll be something else. I don't know what it would be. Could be an Aegis, could be a Happy Mask, right? Those game-changing kind of items. But Big D is done with the TP. Right, only one with a death, but is the furthest ahead going to stage 3. Missed the Bleed Dagger, though, which is going to be a problem, right? Having one Bleed Dagger, even just one, with a little bit of luck. Right? You just get slightly lucky, and you can get like 4 or 5 stacks of bleed on like a Stone Golem, on a boss enemy, on a Greater Wisp, right? And then it dies like twice as fast within the first 10 minutes or so. Other thing to keep in mind for our racers here, something that would have been good is if someone got to this stage before the 10-minute mark, there would have been, right, had Big D gotten here before his timer said 15 because of the plus 5 minutes added on from the death. Or for Ken's standing at 11 minutes. Right? Could have gotten a Prayon with a band, would have been able to instantly annihilate this Imp Overlord. In Big D's case, would have also had a crowbar alongside the Prayon. But maybe not the most, like, first thing that they're thinking of when they're playing Commando is like, oh, it's time to go to Rally Point and try to go for that free capacitor, right? Or not capacitor, Prayon. Right, we saw the Ice Band being one of the last pickups on stage 2. Right, so it was a little bit too late for them to realize the huge potential that the Prayon would have had. Plus, they also have Vase, so they're ultimately not going to be able to, or likely not going to be taking that prey on with them to stage 4 if they already have a pillar skip in hand. We see a Bungus printer, by the way, on W screen. Lurky has 3 speed items, has the Ice Band, has a watch, has an opal, double penny, APR. Really good items. Missing AoE, though. I don't think a single one of these racers really has any area of effect damage item. Right, take a look at Ken's here. Fighting the boss. What do you do when you have just a little bit of speed? I guess base round, frag grenade. You do have a lot of AoE options as Commando, but they're kind of, well, cope. They're not really that good. But notice here what Ken's is doing, right? Just getting constant TP charge time with no AoE. You don't want to get overwhelmed in a situation like this. Just kills the enemies that are going to cause the biggest problems, right? In first place for the most problematic items, it's going to be, or not items, problematic enemies is going to be pests, right? They're going to be a pain in the ass. And, oh geez, speaking of pain in the ass, Big D here takes a +5, takes a death. Let's take a look at that. Alright, it's going to be running, it's running, it's running. Uh-oh. Pest, 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 pest. That was a pest. Just the rock got in the way of running in circles, right? Doesn't have slide, right? Stuck with roll. When you're stuck with roll, right? Roll does not take energy drink into account. Does not take, well, you don't really get much movement bonus to begin with from roll. Maybe a slight burst if you don't have any energy drinks. It's mostly just an instant change of velocity that you can use midair. Ken's really, really low in health. Thankfully has that Wungus, and thankfully took care of all other enemies. Again, really smart strategy here. Just kill everything, and once everything's dead, now you can deal with the boss, right? This is the kind of strat you want to do if you are without AoE, and it's early game. There's a glacial pest. Hopefully it doesn't get her. Should be good. It's gonna be able to kill the Imp Overlord and not die. What are the two racers doing? We've been looking a lot at the left side of the screen, but let's take a look at the right. We see JP here. Fighting the Vagrant, has a bleed dagger, has some speed, has the feather. Remember, everyone except Big D has the feather. So it's gonna be really tough for Big D to dodge those blind rats. Right, the vermin. It's gonna have a hard time jumping over the bison, so it's constantly gonna take damage from them. I mean, take a look at this. Already almost dead. And we'll see it right here again. This is what happens when you have no feather and you're using roll commando. Boom, bison, what are you gonna do? Because you can roll out of the way. Alright, a little too focused on those pennies. I'm just gonna kill stuff. Here comes bison again, here comes a blind pest. Scary stuff. Oh, I remember this. Alright, take a look at W. Again, this is what I was talking about bleed. Only one bleed dagger, gets 2 applications of bleed. Goes up to 3. Resets though. But right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a dead Vagrant. Boom. And that's all thanks to bleed, right? Didn't have to worry about any other Vagrant blasts. Gonna be able to keep his gunner drone. Good stuff. Well done, JP. While Big D is really struggling with some of those enemies. We look down at Lurky. I wouldn't exactly say he's chilling right now. Though he's in a very cold place here in the Rally Point Delta. He's having a good time. Has some items. Sorry, I gotta clear something in my throat. Ugh. Alright. There's a TC-280 drone. You know what's funny is that Big D actually has enough money for it right now. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Personally, if you have 2 pennies, you're at 2,000 bucks right now, you're Big D, you haven't activated the TP yet? Right here, I mean, Big D, 2,000 bucks. TC-280 drone. You see it on Lurky's screen to the right of him. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, Big D died. Live replay. Brought to you by the hosting league. Golem jumps over. No way. No, what do you do there? What do you do in this situation? We'll slow it down, right? You're running. Uh-oh, here comes... right here. Observe. Golem jumped over the nade, which would have died from Ice Band had it stayed there. But no, it decides to jump. I don't know what makes them jump like this. They just do it sometimes at random. Blind Vermin right here, about to bite you, right? Glowing, getting ready for the shot. Like, what do you do? You gotta roll. You gotta, like, I don't know, roll sideways, maybe? Boom, there's the hit, and boom. There was also a blind pest shot that came from above as well. And just all of that conglomerate happened all at once. He was checkmated. You don't want to get checkmated in this game. You wanna make sure you never get in a position like that. Always gotta keep track of enemies that spawn in. Right? And in that situation right there is just nothing you can do, and I'm gonna have to take the death. Here comes Bandolier, and for play, again, $2,100. A TC-280 drone wouldn't be the worst. And okay, what's W doing? I think something's gonna happen here, because there's something very important that I'd like to point out. We take a look at W. Right around here, there's a chance we might see something. Come on, look at it. Look at the thing. Look at the important thing. So you're not gonna look at, okay. I think it's like over there, but there's a bleed printer. Right over where W was. I almost want to like go back and see if he ever saw it. I don't think he did. There was a tri-tip dagger printer. With how many white items? Oh, that's a death, by the way. Is that 4 deaths for Big D now? Yeah, it is. Take a look again at Big D. Right, still just really struggling. Gets stuck in boxes. Oh god, that's not good. Getting shipped right away. Oh, that's double bleed. That's double bleed. Still alive somehow. Blind pests, moving vertical. Bison tries to dodge. Is playing Commando. And I think that was a pest death. I'm pretty certain pest +5. Unfortunate. Alright, so just trying to run away. Right, if you want to get through this, you just got to keep killing those enemies that gotta tickle you down. You got to constantly deal with them as from the beginning of the stage. You don't want too many of them to spawn and then activate TP when you're already kind of overwhelmed. And Big D's really starting to accumulate a huge amount of enemies. So many pests, so many golems, right? And every second that you're standing outside the TP to deal with these enemies, that's just more time to have more of them spawn in. Right, so Big D is constantly just having to stand inbounds, and oh my god, what happened? Take a look down here, Itkens, number 13 seed overall, right in around the middle. Trying to clear the Void Seed. 5 enemies remaining. Has a razor wire, right? That helps. Running through, chilling, having a good time. Okay, standing a little bit too long. But they just really starting to... What the... I don't even know what happened there. We gotta go back again. I gotta go slow-mo. It doesn't help that everything's like super dark purple. Okay, hit play. Can I get a play? Did I go too slow-mo? Oh, I bitrated it. Alright, we'll go like this. Oh, bitrate, go away. Okay. So we see 2 Lemurians. That's it. Right there. Right beneath. Couldn't even see him. Couldn't even tell. There were too many Lemurians that spawned in and decided to just snipe from behind. And poor Ken's is going to take a 5-minute penalty as a result of that. That is unfortunate, and I don't know what to say about that. Like, how you prevent that kind of death, you just get... I think that's a lot more of an auditory issue, right? You hear something spawn, you gotta know that it's a threat, you gotta avoid it. There's so many things, though. It's easy to get overwhelmed. It's gonna take a death, but I mean, things could be worse, right? At least Ken's is not lurky. Though a bad thing for Ken's, and Ken's is going to activate TP. We're about to see what the boss is. Overloading Elder Lemurian, Horde of Many. Yikes. Not good. But Ken's is smart. Ken's knows, okay, well, there's overloading Elders. They're going to take forever to kill. I literally don't have an answer for these. Oh, taking an orb shot. But it's going to run away. It's going to run. And they're going to get in there. When they get in there, their health bar, yep, you can see it now, bottom left. It's just going to go down and down and down and down. And they're all going to die. Now, right here, what I would do, right, they're approaching me. They've all gotten out of the Void Seed. You can either A, shoot, use your vase. Just, like, get really high up, get a high angle. Because this is, oh my god, you are dodging and weaving everything. I don't know how you don't die here. Yeah, it's going to eventually realize, okay, I can't use the vase, just vase through. Very smart. And that is actually going to finish off the Elders. I believe for the most part, there might be one that survives. Yeah, one gets Void Touched. If a Elder Lemurian or any enemy gets Void Touched but remains in the Void Seed, it will still slowly die until it walks out. The second it walks out, and it just did right there, it will no longer take damage when it enters the Void. And now Ken's will have to finish it off. Thankfully, it's not overloading anymore. If an overloading enemy becomes Void Touched, it is no longer overloading. Right? They lose their elite status. Orky, by the way, really struggling. Finally got the TP to 99%. Right here. There it is. There's the the Bleed Dagger. Now, JP, the reason why he didn't see this, he walked around this rock, right? But by walking through the passageway, see the Bleed Dagger right there. Huge, massive printer value. Boom. Boom. He sees it. He's like, oh, shit. I could still do this. Or maybe he doesn't think that, but he can, right? Big D has 4 deaths. Ken's has 1, about to be 2, maybe. Look out for those overloading Elders. W doesn't have any deaths, right? Probably in one of the better positions. Same with Lurky for that matter, right? Lurky actually using the razor wire, right? Purposely getting hit by the bleed shots from the Imp Overlord. It's kind of, is he doing that? What's Lurky doing, right? Because that's really your only AoE option right now. Sorry, hold on. I gotta clear my throat again. All right, and let's see. Yeah, Lurky. Right, almost has the boss then. JP still has to do the whole TP event. Big D, another +5. Let's take a look at this one. Again, racking up so many. If you get like 8 deaths, oh, it is using the bleed. Okay, so it was Big D using that, right? Trying to take a little bit of bleed. Maybe not on purpose, but it ends up getting, was it 2 stacks of bleed or something? Just too many stacks, and ends up dying. It is now at 5 deaths. If you get to about 8 deaths, you have to finish in first real time, assuming no one else dies, right? If someone finishes deathless, and you have 8 deaths, if you are not in first place in real time, you are forced to concede here in the hosting league, right? 40-minute penalty, or 40-minute, at any point, you're behind 40 minutes of first place's finish time, it's a DNF, right? You don't want to have that. DNF stands for did not finish, by the way. But Big D, thankfully, again, still has TP, I believe, at 100 or 99%. That might be 97, actually. That's not good. Yeah, I think enemies are still spawning for him. You gotta finish that. Gotta get that all the way. JP is really feeling the effects of no enemy, or no AoE, by the way. Look at this. There's like 50,000 enemies on a screen. You can use Phase Round and try to pierce as many as you can. That's what he's doing. Ooh, Ken's, by the way. Void item. There's a Void Key. Don't want to get hit by those Hermit Crabs. Gotta be really careful. Nearly died from that. It's gonna get a Bungus. There's still a Void potential, and I believe another Void Cradle. Right, 2 Void Cradles and a potential from that Void Seed. A very good one to clear out. Very fortunate, no Void Socks or anything of the sort. Ken's the only one done with the Stage 4 TP event. Just kind of looting, chilling. Gets a fuel cell, that's huge. It's a big time save, able to save a couple minutes on the moon. Being able to just double vase. Maybe not a couple minutes, at least a minute though. Fuel cell with vase is like optimal if you're speedrunning. And hosting league, it's meh. JP nearly dies. I almost wonder, right here. Look at JP's screen. He thought he died. Boom. Laser blast. Did not die. Still in it. Hang on. Hang on for dear life, JP. Oh my god. While that was happening, by the way, Lurky did go for a new altar. And ooh, Big D. If only he did this before the TP. Big D bought the TC drone. This is the first ever TC drone within the hosting league. Saw it right here, Chad. And my prediction, when I first saw this come out, this isn't what I'm saying right now, but when I first saw it, it's actually a good call, right? Look how many pests are on the screen. Big D knows about the bleed printer, right? I don't think any other racer knows, right? The only person that could find out still would be JP. Fun fact, I'll just say it now, JP does not find the bleed printer. So Big D, right? 5 deaths down. That's a steep thing, a steep slope to climb. Yeah, JP was actually using the bleed backing into it on purpose to trigger some razor wire, which is a good tactic if you can handle it. JP does have 1 repulsion armor plate, so it's not doing too much damage to him. However, you're playing with death and you could die very easily. Yeah, there are no other enemies. We haven't seen any deaths, but oh my god. Almost rolled into 2 bleed there. What is going on with JP, right? Yes, does want to kill this thing faster. But really messing with fire. Playing with fire. Don't want to lose your watch either. Right? You only have 200 HP max. One slight mistake, and that's minus 20% damage for the rest of your run. And a +5 penalty, potentially, on top of that. TC's sweeping all those enemies for Big D, who now has 3 white scrap. Uh-oh. Oh, Kens. There is a glacial elder. Yep, run away. Run away from that. Stage 4, by the way, had an energy drink printer right out in the center of the stage. Kens also did not print from that. My assumption is that they did not want to lose any movement speed, or not movement speed, bleed, right? 1 bleed dagger isn't really that much. You could get lucky and get like a 6 or 7 bleed stack on something and kill something quicker than like the first couple stages. But once you're on stage 4, stage 5, 2 bleed is about the minimum requirement. If you have, you know, a decent attack speed, decent rate of fire, decent proc chance like Commando has. 2 bleed daggers, you can pretty much guarantee that you're gonna be able to stack bleed. And there we go. JP, or Big D, went for 8 bleed daggers, in case you missed it. Has Giga Bleed. Was able to keep speed. But has 5 deaths. My favorite loadout here right now is almost, I want to say, Big D's, but Big D doesn't have the feather. And if Big D just had gotten that feather on stage 1 and did not just leave early on. Oh, wow. Oh, I forgot about this. Take a look at Lurky. Observe. Chant Shrine. 1 hit. First hit. Boom. Sentient Meat Hooks is the item. That's going to be good AoE. Right, add that in with the is there a ukulele? I swear there's some ukes. Yeah, Ken says 2 ukes. Oh, yeah, okay. Lurky also has 2 ukuleles and gets the elders. Now, here's something that Lurky didn't do that I'm surprised. Lurky opted... Oh, nearly just got slammed by an overloading elder shot for Lurky. Thankfully, it was only a normal elder, and he did not die. So we'll just say that was calculated. But has a lot of AoE items, just gonna opt to try and camp up top here and kill the enemies. Not going for the Void Seed instead. Void Seed is a lot safer of an option. It's a lot more guaranteed of an option to get the kill. And that's going to be 2 overloading bubbles. No way to avoid those. Did have a teddy bear, but there was 2 of them. And, I mean, what would that be? About 1 in 49 chance of surviving that? No, that's... Good luck. I mean, I have seen something like that happen. I have lost the loadout race to someone who, like, procced teddy bear on what should have been a death 5 different times, and it cost me a race. So I've been there, and I'm totally not bitter about the time limit beat me, but it is what it is. Getting decent damage, though, despite that death. And right now, I mean, the furthest behind in real time, right, hasn't activated the stage 4 TP yet. Take a look at W. No deaths. No death W. How do you like that nickname? That's a good nickname. Hence, by the way, before activating TP, picks up a Royal Capacitor in a Tri-Shop. Item that they missed when they picked that up. There was a Tricorn, right? Could just instantly blast this Soul's Control unit. I don't know if there's 1 or 2. Yeah, there's 2, right? We just only had to deal with 1. We'll get Empathy Cores, which is pretty big, and then just take the Vase of the Moon. Could have been an option. Didn't get it, didn't look. Saw Capacitor, took Capacitor. And I mean, Capacitor's doing pretty good damage. We just saw a crit band proc kick in, which was good. And yeah, you really want to go for these Soul's Control units when they get low on health. Oh jeez. Oh my god, Ken's. Oh no. Okay, well, freeze. Let's go back in time. Ken's gets slowed midair. That's not good. Gets hit by a rock. Right? Right here. What you want to do, if you're Ken's, is you look not towards here, towards this bridge. You want to look to your left. And there's this little island with the artifact portal. If you use your roll and stop your fall, right as you get about on equal ground, an equal level, right when you no longer have the high ground to the artifact portal platform, to the artifact portal island, use your roll. If you roll right there, take no fall damage, you teleport back up top and you're gonna be okay. A-okay. But Ken's doesn't do that. Ken's is panicking, right? Just got slammed by a rock. There's a Soul's Control unit almost dead. So much going on, and well, rolls at the wrong time and dies. Unfortunate. Later on in this race, we'll actually see someone correctly perform the roll maneuver. Orky getting slammed by the Elder. Again, thankfully not an overloading Elder. Orky really struggling to deal with them. Overloading, just constantly regaining all health, going back up to full constantly. Really not good. Big D at 5 deaths. Hasn't died yet on stage 4. Right, Ken's the furthest ahead, has 2 deaths. If you're Big D right now, I mean, you need everyone else to die a bunch. Oh, not you. You are surrounded. You are surrounded. Yep. Yep. Look at this. Look at this. Here's Big D. Rolling on. It's got that Big D energy going, right? Gonna go out in the middle. But out here in the middle, you got 2 little Marines spawning behind you, right? Constantly just shooting fireballs. Here's an or not overloading Elder, but an Elder Marine. Oh, they shoot bursts of 5. There's 2 imps here. There's so much bad right now. And you put yourself in check. Rolls into one of the fireballs, right? You could think about like, oh man, I rolled incorrectly. I gotta get better at my rolling. Or, right, you got to get better at that spatial awareness. Takes a death, runs away. I think by running up here, though, the Elder is going to run through the Void Seed again. And I think it dies for bigdy. I forget, though. Ken's halfway done with the Souls Control units, just slowly whittling them away with the... with Bleed. Slowly whittling away with the Royal Capacitor. Right? Getting some good shots in there. Some good damage. You don't want to lock with Bleed too much as Commando, and this is kind of one thing that has really got me to become a true needle tick enjoyer. Right? Bleed can do more damage in those certain circumstances. We all remember Bleed being like one of the best items for Commando pre-DLC. Oh god, Ken's just gets mushroomed. He's got to run away, goes down. Doesn't want to lose that spaces. A little sprint back up to full health, it's going to be okay. Yeah, Lurky finished off the boss just a second ago, I believe. Managed to get it in the Void Seed during this time as... Oh, jeez. Another death goes through. Poor bigdy. Now going to be at 7 deaths. How do you come back from this, right? Rolls into an overloading Elder shot. For some reason, I swear they're like double producing the overloading orbs. You get hit by 1. And suddenly there are 2 orbs on you. I don't know what's going on there. But it's not good, and it's resulting in more death. As bigdy is now at 67 minutes real time. Meanwhile, JPW, deathless, at 32, right? Things are going good for JP. Has 2 Focus Crystal, has an APR. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the last death I'll cover on bigdy. But what is going on here? A lot of razor wire. bigdy, someone who's only DNF'd once, might be looking at... Oh, there's a gup. Oh my god, worst time ever. Okay, doesn't wait to fall. Just immediately jumps off. Thinking, I don't want to die to this gup. 1 too many deaths. I'm already tilted. I'm at 8 deaths total. And that happens. 8 deaths, right? Assuming that I mean, if JP finishes before bigdy at this point, it doesn't even matter, right? If JP just finishes the run, this is like 2 minutes before bigdy does, bigdy's still just like a base 4 or something. Boom. Only 2 minute difference real time, but we'll have to concede. So bigdy's really gonna have to step things up. Maybe you can hope for some of the others to die, but I mean, completion at a minimum is your hope if you're bigdy. You want to be able to finish this loadout. Yeah, stage 4 does have an energy drink printer. I don't think I've seen many people go into it. Maybe I haven't been paying too much attention. Also a bungus printer if you really want additional lungus. You get an encrusted key. Oh man, Ken's is really struggling charging his TP. Might die here, right? Already got 2 deaths. Lurky gets the legendary chest. Oh, there it was. Aegis, let's go. Love to see it. Love Aegis. Our favorite item in the game. Able to... What's it do, like? I think you lose 5% barrier per second. But it gives you half healing. It turns into barrier. Hey, that might be some value. You could just go all in on the Wungus printer. Or a Bungus printer once you find the Weeping Fungus on stage 4. And then boom, you get barrier. Permanent uptime. You don't have any damage anymore. Uh-oh. Did Ken's... Oh, I forgot this happened. Ken's picked up a Benthic Bloom. Look at that. Oh no. There's some things you really want to hold on to if you're Ken's, right? You don't want to lose your feather. You lose that, and your feather turns into like a, I don't know, a soulbound catalyst. You're kind of screwed. At least you have safer spaces. Oh, there's a quail. And, oh, God. What? I forgot this happened. Big D looks like he's going to die as well. We'll get both of these guys up here. What is happening? Double bleed from the imp. Runs right into... Oh, my God. Ran right into the mortar shots. Got kind of scared. Got kind of spooked. Big D thankfully not dying. Actually, there was a really close call. But W now with the first death. Okay, I mean, that's good for some of the other racers. Maybe not good for W, who had such a huge lead. Or, not such a huge lead. I mean, Ken's here, who finds a void potential. Ooh, take a look at this. Rolling over has the benthic blue and polyloot. Now, bleed is great with polyloot. Polyloot, I believe, has a proc coefficient of, I think it might be like 0.6 or 0.4. It's somewhere up there. It's not quite 1.0. Wait, what? Kens. This is the alternate form of hosting that no one talks about when you run right into a teleport and die. And Ken's right here. Oh, don't die again. You are stuck. You need to get out. There's like 5 gup stuck in the trap. Didn't try to clear off the enemies. You have polyloot. I mean, you don't gotta just rush in. Oh, that's embarrassing. That's one you're gonna keep. It's gonna keep you up at night. And oh, there it is. Lost bleed, gained Renald's ban, which is good. But what are you gonna use bans with against Mithrix? Gets Wake of Vultures, loses the Quail. Gets another Wake of Vulture? Got 2 Wake of Vultures. Yeah, not exactly good for you. At least you've got the vase to give you a little bit of movement, but double Wake is doing nothing. I don't know, maybe for Ken's you can take a look at the soup store. See if there's any white soups that you can turn those wakes into something else. Turn your brain stocks into something else. I think it'd be worth with double base. If you find a good white soup, maybe it's armor pierce or something. Maybe it's crit, maybe it's energy drink or mocha, syringe, or so many good white items that you can get from those. Obviously, there's things like firework and roll a penny that you can end up with, and those aren't very good, but I think it's at least worth a shot. Regardless whether or not it was worth a shot, Ken's is doing damage. Only has 3 deaths, is on the boss fight. Right, has a 10-minute advantage to both Lurky and W. Right, 10 minutes is all the time that they have to catch up to Ken's. But while all that happened and whatnot, I like what Big D's doing. Printed some movement speed, got another Bleed Dagger back, was using that speed printer on stage 4. I like that. And there's actually a stage 5 printer as well that we're going to find out about later on. I believe it will be Lurky that will find it. Benthic Bloom found, by the way, on W's screen. W has that 2 bleed, has 4 speed, 2 APR, 2 focus crystal, and is opting not to take it, right? There's a lot of good stuff in your build. You can make it work. You don't want to gamble it away. Not when you only have 1 death. Plus, it's also smart if you ever find a Benthic Bloom right on TP, don't pick it up immediately, right? If it's right next to TP, you don't gotta rush to it. Right? You could find a recycler, maybe get a pluripotent larva, which is prevents a death if a death does happen. Right? So if you do accidentally die and you're kind of confident in your build, make it to phase 3 or something, you're gonna be a-okay. Oh geez, Lurky really getting harassed by Bells, and I believe an overloading Elder Murian. So many Elders that are overloading. Also an overload. Oh, I know it's Glacial. The overloading is the parent. This is not a Blazing Parent. Ken's making the most of Focus Crystal there. That's good. Trying to get those grenades in. Got to use those 3 ice bands that you have now. That you are bleedless. Wait, what? Okay. I was confused about this when I was watching the recording. What is Big D doing here? Big D decides to use this vase? Is he like... Huh? Is this like a host skip attempt? Oh god, I got confused. Okay, well, wrong person to be looking at. Let's take a look over at W again. Dealing with the overloading parent, gets slammed by it, loses the safer spaces on respawn because of the overloading parent. It's awesome. Oh man, I can't wait for the update for the Gauntlet mod that like actually makes deaths happen, make them real. So that things like overloading bubbles don't take away your safer spaces when you die frame 1. And then you're just stuck at half health with no opal, no spaces, no Ben's raincoat. Be nice. Ukulele found. Remember, there is the Polyloot? Yeah, Lurky's gonna find Polyloot. And that's gonna be a turning point because Lurky is going to find the armor-piercing round printer out of all the racers here. Lurky's gonna go, yep, over here, right? Get a base over. Sees a gun. Guns are cool. I like them. We know that the boss is going to be Soul's control unit. Oh, Lurky actually hasn't activated TP yet. Still needs to do that whole event. Everyone does, actually. Ken's had such a huge lead here. Ken's... Look at this. None of them have even activated TP. Lurky's going to be the first one to do it with the gun. Right? And then while these three are still not even starting the stage 5 TP, there's Ken's. Almost done with phase 1. Only needs 3 phases to go through. And yes, has a 10-minute penalty on the other 2, but they could still die, right? JP died again. JP's only got 5 minutes ahead to catch up, activate the TP, finish the TP, and get to phase 2 in order to catch up to Ken's. 5 minutes, not gonna happen, right? Lurky's got 10 minutes to do that. That might be a little bit more possible, a little bit more realistic. But, I mean, for all the racers at this point here, they're going to need something. They're going to need something to happen. It's going to have to be bad for Ken's, right? Ken's will need to throw in phase 2. And they need to get something that's going to make them not throw. So what's going to happen here? Well, take a look at Ken's. Oh, that's JP. JP's running. Pretty chill. Here's Ken's. Doesn't have any cover. There's 3 Chimera Wisps getting ready to fire. And, like, what do you do? Hide underneath the rock is what you gotta do. I know, it's actually fast enough to outrun. Okay, I'm done. I really just want to take cover. You want to use those, the ramp. Climb up the ramp. Hide up the ramp. A lot of people avoid the ramp because they think they're not allowed to go up there. They are. And... Nope. I mean, half health. What do you do? Yeah, goes up the ramp. There we go. Good spot to be at. If you stand up here on this ramp, where Ken's is at, the Wisps don't really get high enough to shoot at you. I don't know why. They like path beneath you. And it's not really frowned upon or anything, so you can get away with it. But it's really powerful. Really strong. You just do that. It'll be a-okay. Lurky's the only one to have still... Oh! Yep, I knew it was happening. I was trying to wait. I thought it was going to happen. That's why I had it on Ken's. Here we go. And right there you saw exploders. There's like 3 of them. On her left, underneath. She's going to die again if she doesn't move. It kills the Wisp. That'll work too. And thankfully the healing drone's taking a lot of the aggro off of the exploders. But now at 4 deaths, suddenly looking a little bit better for Lurky, who still only needs, what, 60%, 70% still to charge in the TP. Has 4 Polyloot, has Empathy Core. I said it earlier, but right, Ken's has oh, jeez, okay. What happened here? I forgot. Down over at Lurky. Overloading Parent, the same one that killed JP earlier. Now taking a second victim with Lurky. 2 deaths can be attributed to that damn Parent. Oh, man. Gotta love parents. Friendly reminder, Mother's Day is next Sunday. Hope you got something for your moms. A little bit of parent appreciation coming up here in the next couple months. We got Father's Day in a month, right? So now, I mean, in real time, W and Lurky, both with 2 deaths. Right. They don't have the bleed from the bleed printer that Big D had, but Big D doesn't have the feather that everyone else has, right? All of these racers here, you're seeing them double jump, boom, boom, boom. Constantly doing that, constantly able to avoid everything. But not poor Big D. Big D has the bleed, though. Had the damage set up. Right, there's the armor-piercing round printer on the left side of Big D's screen. Or I guess the right now. Ken's finally done with phase 2. Again, lost the double bleed. Double bleed with triple Polyloot. I feel like Ken's would already be done with this fight. But no. Gotta thank the balloon. Gotta love it. Just a few more percentage to go for Lurky. 92% done. It's gonna run back, gonna hide. W taking down the Solus with ease. Already got the Polyloot before activating TP alongside Lurky here. It does have a 3rd pre-spawned Solus control unit. Doesn't have the vase out right now, just used the gun to get the cores. Ken's really dealing with a lot of those ads, right? There's like 5-6 of them just spawning every 20 seconds. Right, real time is at 46 minutes for this Mithrix fight. And Ken's will need to get Mithrix down to 75% now. It's hit by a hammer. And, hold up. Ken's gets hit by the hammer. But what does Ken's do? I mean, you have roll. Just waiting for roll? Forgets to roll. Survives, but takes another blast from Mithrix and gets a death added on. Now at 5 deaths here. But that's okay to be at 5 deaths because JP also just died. Overloading orb, so many bells. What's going on here? Holy death. Boom. Not good. And, I mean, Ken's just going to keep going at Mithrix here. Keep shooting, keep shooting. Don't want to die. But you got to get this down. Right? One thing you can do if you're Ken's is you want to take your vase, right? You have your vase. And, right, from where you're at, see how there's like 5 enemies here? See how everything's overwhelming? Look over there. There's nothing. There's nothing at the other half of the map. Just go where the enemies aren't at. And if you go over there, you get like 20-30 seconds before they finally get to you, where you can just breathe and relax. Right? JP, another death again. This time to some greater wisps, I believe. No. Okay. Just you could turn that into a GIF. Elder Lemurian quickly approached him and decided to use every single fireball. But while that happens yet again, we see another death. Ken's here. Gets swiped. Hammer. Boom. Mid-air. Mid-air hammer slam. Dead. So many deaths going on right now. Everyone's in a death loop. Well, not everybody, right? JP's taking a lot of deaths. Ken's is really, really, really just getting overwhelmed. Finally, Mithric's going to get the 75% health. But was it too late? We'll see. Ken's at 6 deaths here. 78 minutes real time. Only 10 minutes behind Big D, who hasn't died on stage 5. All of stage 5, Big D's been A-okay. I've been saying A-okay a lot. Oh, there it is. There it is. I was talking about it earlier with Ken's. Watch this. Look what happens. Big D's like, don't want that. I'm going to jump off, and already knows what he's doing. Is looking at this island. Okay, when I get about parallel, we can do it a little bit above as well. It's fine. Right about there. Boom. Rolls. Safe landing. Doesn't even lose the bubble. That is what you want to do. Exactly what you want to do. And, oh, I remember this. I remember this 100%. JP and the overloading elder. There's just something about overloading elders in this loadout. Yeah, comes from jump scare. Takes the +5. And the elder's still alive. Surprise! I'm back. And is going to try and stun him to be out in the open to take damage from the stun. But no, it's in cover. It's in cover. And okay. Gotta be careful now. Now here comes the wisps. There's a lot of wisps gonna all die from the razor wire. And finally gets the kill on that overloading elder. And Lurky is gonna make it to the moon. Wisps actually are gonna finish off JP shortly after that kill. Yet again, overloading enemies. Everyone really struggling with those blue shielded, lightning sticky bombing bastards. They're just coming time after time after time. JP now at 5 deaths? 6 deaths. Big D only at 9. Ken's rolled into a pizza. Observe. We like to do that. We like to say that word around here. And rolled, boom. Tried to avoid some of the exploder shots, and, well, that's roll for you. Just getting smacked around now at 90 minutes. Only has 30% of Mithrix to go on phase 3. But, I mean, is 30 minutes behind Lurky in real time. Lurky's still only with 2 deaths, right? Lurky, who, by the way, printed 10 armor piercing rounds. We saw it happen earlier. He used a scrapper and printed all of those APR, right? Dealing triple damage to Mithrix as a result. Has 1 bleed dagger, not 2. Ends with another death, now at 95 minutes, just constantly taking these time after time. So many exploders, so many ads, so many enemies. What do you do? Well, again, we talked about it earlier. You use the vase, you run away from them. You get 20, 30 seconds before they catch up to you. And then you use that time to deal damage to Mithrix. That's just how you got to do it. That's how you have to fight in these situations. We'll see what Ken's can do, but I mean, 1 more death and it's going to be 40 minutes behind Lurky, who's looking like it's going to be in first place here. Unless something changes, unless something happens, right? At 61 minutes, the next closest person would be JP at 81 minutes. Still has a whole fight to go. Saying that sucked in chat. Ken's dead again. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's a race to the finish at this point for Ken's. You just got to finish the run. You got to go. But at the same time, you don't want to keep dying like this. Right? If someone finished this run at like 115 minutes, or not 115, at 75 minutes, then in 1 death from now, you will have to concede. Right, so there's 2 things pulling you. You got to go fast and you got to not die. Oh, but Lurky taking a death here at the start of phase 3. Let's take a look at this one. Lurky, not known for dying much this loadout, just takes the full burst of Mithrix's hammer, shockwave and all. Down to 67 minutes here for the first place time currently. The current person with the least amount of deaths. Halfway, no, I'd say about a third of the way done with Mithrix. Phase 3. 10 APR though, right? And the time that's going to take Ken's to do as much, like that last 10% of Mithrix's health. Like she's going to finish up Mithrix Phase 3. At the same time, Lurky, assuming they're shooting the same amount, I'd say Lurky's going to be like 1/3 remaining. They're just doing so much more just from that printer alone. Right, also has 2 soldier syringes. Also has one crit glass. Yeah, another death for Ken's. Who will now... Oh... You gotta go fast. You gotta stop dying too. Alright, finally finishes. And didn't... Yeah. In case you missed it, we'll show it right here. In case anyone else doesn't know. Look at that. Chimera Wisp spawned in during the fight. They can spawn. They just never do because the director is on a very set time limit, to the point not enough credits are really ever able to accumulate for a Chimera Wisp. However, if you are in the air too much, if you are up on a pillar too much, up on a ramp too much, during Phase 3, they will spawn because nothing else can spawn if you're up there too much. And well, that's how a Chimera Wisp spawns in. Kind of freaks out Ken's, gets her to a 12th death. At 113, 114 minutes, is slowly going to kill Mithrix. Mithrix does have a med kit, just making it take even longer. JP at 84 minutes real time. And Lurky chilling at... Chilling at 70 minutes. Which means if 70 minutes, right? Let's say that Lurky finishes at 75 minutes. That means Big D and JP are on a bit of a time limit. It's not over for them yet, though. Despite their deaths that they've taken, despite the issues that they've had. Right, JP having a pretty quick Phase 1. Doesn't have the armor-piercing rounds, though. Right, has 2, but not 10. Oh, jeez. Okay, hold up. This ain't over. Lurky, getting ready for pizza. Running, and Exploder shooting. Gets rid of the safer spaces, and there it goes. Pizza lands directly on Lurky. That's going to be the last pizza, though. Lurky finishes off Mithrix, and at 75 minutes. Pipes in chat, imagine dying with this damage. Well, got 3 other people who have. And Ken says, I'm doomed to throw Mander and bad at the game. Well, might be, right? Looking like it's a decent chance that you're going to end up getting in 4th place here. Right, 115 minutes for the loadout. As Lurky's going to finish up here. Right, 76:08 on the clock. Gets back safer spaces. Does not have the safer spaces bug, so can still die and still take damage. But finishes off Mithrix. And, I mean, it's going to be done in about 1 minute. Right, has the base. Going to go for a portal. Good portals, both spawned. Took the one further back, which isn't as good for getting to the ship, but made use of it. There you go. Landed the base quite nicely, and is going to be able to charge. And how are other 2 racers doing, though? Well, Ken's is done. 115.46 on the clock. Go ahead and take her off screen here. But yeah, I had 12 deaths. Which means, I mean, I'm not even going to put up a time to finish yet. We'll wait for Lurky, who's guaranteed to get first place at this point. GG to Lurky, is guaranteed to get bonus points at this point, unless JP somehow finishes the fight, charges the moon, or charges the ship, all in about the next 20 seconds here. Bigdy's doing really good damage. Look at that. Look at that health bar on Mithrix. Every time that Polyloot goes in as well, with all the extra bleed. Oh. Man, you really got a feel for Big D. Like, imagine if Big D just got the feather. It's that feather difference. Was going to be able to jump so much better over all those enemies. Right? Didn't die at all on stage 3. Or, no, died a lot on stage 3. But died twice. Or, no, just once on stage 1. And then died on 3 a bunch of times. Like, just the early game really didn't work out well for Big D. Like, here on the moon, like, just zooming through the Mithrix fight, about to pass JP in real time. Right, it's 10 minutes behind JP, though. We finally get a time to complete. And that is going to be... let me do math. 77:27 is the time for Lurky, plus 40 minutes. 117 minutes and 27 seconds. That is a lot of time to go through. We'll see if they can do it. I mean, 88, 98, 08, 18. JP's got half an hour. Right, we can actually take that time there. Half an hour to complete. Big D a little bit less grace here, right? Only has about 15 minutes. I take it back. JP is about 25-ish or so. 26, 27. All of them, though, as long as they don't die, as long as they do good, and Big D halfway done with Phase 2. If Phase 2 went by this quickly, surely Phase 3 should as well. JP's honestly the one I'm a little bit more concerned for, as I mean, he's at 90 minutes, just about, but look how slow the fight's going. We saw this happen too with Ken's, where Ken's had such an... I mean, it was a bit of a slow Phase 1, and a bit of a slow Phase 2, but it's Phase 3. There's not really much for AoE. There's not really the highest amount of damage, right? It is Commando, and there is good damage, but it's not as good as Lurky's damage. It's not 10 armor-piercing round damage, right? Lurky was just able to annihilate Mithrix before too many enemies spawned in. JP, that was really dangerous. Vase is by like 10 golems shots. Thankfully, doesn't get hit by any of them. Big D already at the start of Phase 3, right, has beyond passed JP at this point. But, I mean, if JP could play it smart, right, you have the Vase. You just want to use the Vase to get to the other side of the map whenever you get overwhelmed by ads. Just use that Vase there. Play it safe. Kill Mithrix. Don't target the ads, and you'll be good. Right? What is Big D doing here? Big D is just targeting this golem. There's Mithrix, and Mithrix is doing pizza. Big D now only has about 10 minutes, 12 minutes to be able to finish up here. Mithrix is taking a ton of damage, but lost a watch. You're stuck with roll commando. You don't have slide. Yeah, just use your Vase. You see those exploders. You have empathy cores. Let the cores deal with those. Yeah, look at that. Look how fast Big D's dealing damage to Mithrix now, right? I don't gotta worry about those ads. Okay, now you gotta get close, though. At least close enough to where Mithrix is gonna start pizza. This is a little bit far away, but pizza is a perfect time, a perfect chance where Mithrix is gonna stand still for like 10 or 12 seconds, where you can just blast him. Okay, got some ad spawn in, that's fine. Again, Big D gonna move away. You also see JP doing the same thing, running away with the Vase. Don't want to deal with the ads, just want to hit Mithrix. Want to shoot Mithrix, there you go. Alright, this is what you want to be doing. Treat every life like it's your last life, but you also got to play like you've got 1 minute left. Right, there's got to be some even ground. Eats a pizza slice, eats another pizza slice, back-to-back pizzas. And Big D, well, I was saying you got to treat every life like it's your last. Well, this is actually his last life. If Big D dies one more time, it's going to be a concede. You gotta be careful. You're only at half health whenever you respawn. W down to 60 health. Dies. Gets hit by exploders, right? You gotta run away from those. You don't gotta worry about shooting them. Let the cores try and deal with as many as they can. There you go. Use this time to get Mithrix. You have a feather, right? You know who doesn't have a feather is Big D. Big D doesn't have the feather. So maybe Big D has to be a little bit more aggressive. And oh no. That'll do it. Passes the 117-minute mark. Gets hit. I think I called timeout in the middle of pizza for JP. And he pauses mid-pizza. I'll say this now while I'm messaging Big D to concede. I told the racers at the start of the race, hey, if I call timeout like mid-pizza, you can finish the pizza. You don't have to like immediately pause. Unfortunately for JP, he chose to pause mid-pizza. That's his choice. It is what it is. We can actually hand out some points here as the DNF is called for... Oh, wait, no, we can't yet. As long as one of these racers finish, there's pretty high chance that Ken's will get in third, right? It's not over yet, right? JP can still get a point. I guess the only person that we can hand out points to would be Lurky. We can go ahead and give all 5, right? Finish 10 minutes in front of second place at a minimum. There's the +5 that happens immediately after timeout ends. I gave them the warning. I gave them the heads up. They knew what was on. Oh, man. JP's got 15 minutes to finish this fight. Right, 15 minutes is more than plenty. If this was a normal Mithrix fight where you're full looting and like doing a win streak or something where you can't die because, you know, you have to restart your win streak and that's never fun, right? You gotta play like it's your last. Every death is 5 minutes. I've explained, I've shown what 5 minutes is like plenty of times. It's a long time. Right? It's enough time for you to microwave your frozen meal for any frozen meal enjoyers. And to let it sit for a little bit as well. I was like getting the Stofers. Those are good ones. Right, dodging pizza, that's good, that's good. Okay, right here, you want to run away from all these ads. Use your vase and just get away. Because look at this, there's like 5 exploders, and now what's ending up happening is JP's just shooting the ads. And every time he kills an ad, another one spawns in, right? Kill 2 exploders, here comes a golem. Boom. Now you gotta kill that golem too, before you can start killing Mithrix. If that's your goal, is to just shoot at these. See, more exploders spawned in. Another golem, I'm pretty sure, just spawned in. Mithrix is doing pizza now. You're gonna get overwhelmed. You gotta do this quick. Or you're gonna put yourself in a death loop. Right, something very similar that we saw happen to Ken's, but at least Ken's was dealing damage to Mithrix. JP here, however, I mean, look, Mithrix is right there, but he's so focused on that one damned exploder that has a little bit of health. Shooting exploders is fun, it's fine. It's like, wow, I'm actually dealing damage. I can see the health bar go down. There you go, JP. Yeah, get yourself away. Remembers now. And just look at Mithrix. Still not the best damage, but, I mean, you're getting bleed stacks. You gotta just maintain that a little bit more. Okay, runs away a little preemptively. There are some golems there, so that's understandable. But just keep doing that. You still got 11 minutes. You can do this. Right, Mithrix's health with his 2 empathy cores targeting as well. Very cool, very good. Right now, vase. Use your vase. You got one vase. Run to the other half of the map. At least to center. Nope, runs all the way in the back. Now uses vase. Thought a little too late to do that. Alright, you just gotta kind of play with it now. Gotta deal with your consequences. Eats a pizza. Doesn't eat double pizza, though. And Mithrix is going to emerge from the numbers. There he is. Okay, you can still deal damage to him. You don't got to hide. You got feather. You got roll. Again, we got 10 minutes for this. You can keep doing this. Just keep staying away from the ads, and you're fine. It's doing good. It's using the feather, and uh-oh. Let's take one look at that again. dealing with Mithrix here. Jumps and there's some exploders. Yeah, just converging shots, 3 of them. I believe might have also been in a pizza slice there as he jumped back. Now at 111 minutes here. If he dies once more, he essentially is out, is eliminated, and will also have to not complete the run. We'll have to concede. We'll end up with a DNF. Right, so you gotta be careful. You gotta just. Why are you shooting the exploders? Oh man, see, every one of them that dies, another one just spawns in. You're killing them slower than they're spawning, right? This isn't the strat that's gonna work. Thankfully, all the other ads are focused on your cores, right? On your probes. But there goes JP again, just targeting the. I swear, if JP told me at the end of this race, and it's going to end with a +5, I'm just going to spoil it now. Right, there's the shot, the golem. If JP didn't focus so much on shooting these golems, didn't super duper focus on just... Yeah, look at this, he's just targeting the same one golem. It's going to take like a minute to kill. And another one's just going to spawn in its place. If he just wasn't doing this, Mithrix would be dead by now. He wouldn't have died as much because he's running away from the ads. Right, you got cores. The cores will deal with them. See any exploders right now? No, because they're all on the cores. Now Mithrix is on the cores too, so that's going to happen. So you got to pay a little bit of attention. But that's the thing with Risk of Rain and with dealing runs like this, is just having to know what to keep track of. And I'm going to call the timeout there. It's going to be a concede for JP. Will not get in second place, will not even get in third place. Kens, who died 12 times, despite doing so poorly, at least finished the fight. And because of that, Kens is going to be able to come in second, get 2 points, and will be able to have a chance to come back in the next one. GG's to everyone. I mean, I feel like what could have been for Big D missed the feather on stage 1. JP ended up just focusing too much on the ads when things mattered most. I didn't have the most amount of damage either. And those things just kind of brought him down. We'll see what happens next loadout though. That's going to be posted here tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching this highlight. I'm live over on Twitch on twitch.tv/gamerage_0st. So if you liked what you saw here today, if things were good for you, why not check it out? We're doing this hosting league here. We're going to be doing loadout races for the next, I believe we still have 4 weeks before the final tournament. So feel free to check that out, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.